Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this recap video, we're going to talk about a day in the life of the S&P. Now, there were a few things that were hanging over the S&P. Apple, what were the results of Apple ultimately going to be? So that was hanging over the S&P. And then yesterday's April 30th sell-off, right? What happened the last day of April, that was hanging over the market. It's very common to see an end of month sell-off like that, and we took advantage of that yesterday in the room, but we also had a setup to accompany that seasonal tendency. So then we really hit the reset button as we start a brand new day, brand new month, and I did not have really any kind of directional, if you want to call it connection, directional correlation. I didn't have the daily, the 60, and the 5 moving together. And when I have that, it's much easier to say, hey, I've got a bias to the up or downside. But when things are mixed, I realize that it's best to let the clearing range unveil what I think the momentum or even the trend of the market is going to be. So that's exactly what we did. And we broke the clearing range low pretty easily. And one thing that made the clearing range low an easy short to take is that from about 9:05 on till the eventual break at 10 with the 10:10 candle, I believe it was, that we had a consistent red candles leading us lower. All these red candles leading us lower, which was great. And then the next thing was that once the floor for the clearing was broken, we continued to basically bounce off the lines of the 34 EMA wave, even more confirmation, right? So there's that. But I want to mention something about this area right here. Even though we bounce off the wave here, I want to mention something about this area. This is essentially the no trade zone for me. And I don't know if I've mentioned it recently in recap videos. I know I've talked about it before. This is where, I got to tell you, you basically go live your life, you run the errands, you do the things you've got to do because, there is a life that we want outside of trading. So I try to get a workout in, maybe lunch with my mom, something, right? Take a friend out to lunch, something, and I'll come back after 1:30. Now, here's what I have found additionally. It's not all woo-woo. I have found when I would go back and look at my trades, some of my worst follow-through trades happened between 11:30 and 1:30, which, you can kind of say it's the post-European close couple of hours, it's the sort of the lunchtime doldrum hours, but nonetheless, I found my percentage of winners, and the way the market would sort of float around like on a breeze tended to be higher during this 2-hour span. So I don't put on new trades. Doesn't mean I close open ones. I don't put new ones on. Now, as the day persisted, we had a gorgeous setup right here. This is a little something we call the trend or wave reversal. The fact that it happened after 1:30 was perfect. And you can see here the market headed up higher. This was the first opportunity to get long into the afternoon because you can really look at the market as two pieces of a day. There's the AM and then there's the PM. You can really look at two sessions. That's the way I look at it. One session, two sessions. So as we progressed into the last hour of the day, which is, probably apart from the open, would be the second preferred time to trade, is the 3 o'clock to 4:15 hour. And at that point, we were waiting for a correction because we had the uptrend in place. And that's exactly what we wanted to take advantage of. And then we were waiting for a correction. Now, these projection lows, this is something I'm going to teach in the class on Saturday. This Saturday, May the 5th, Danielle and I are going to be going over actually every one of those patterns that I just showed you on this chart, plus a couple of others. And that's going to be something we'll be doing. You can learn more about it at simplertrading.com/futures-freedom. So let's take a look at what we had here. You'll notice that I have these prices, what I call the projection lows, waiting. So I know as soon as I get a 3 o'clock high, which happened right here, I can project where the lows are going to be. And then I can place a limit order to buy and make the market come to me. And that's what put us long into the close. So you can see what kind of trade we had after this 26.40.75 level was hit. This is something we did live in the chat, which was a lot of fun. We have a lot of you that are taking advantage of the trial right now. You can check that out and join myself and Neil and David live in the chat, where we're calling trades throughout the day. In the premium video, gang, I'm going to cover our new trade in the Canadian dollar, talk about crude oil, gasoline, gold, silver, and copper. So I'll see you in the next update.